Welcome to another episode of Horror Never Dies, Season 2, Episode 5, the Stephen King era of horror. I want to welcome everybody that is tuning in live, you know what I'm saying, catching the replay. I appreciate people showing love last week for Episode 4. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep this thing going. We are at the halfway mark of this season. Still got a lot more in store, a lot more episodes. We're getting around to the Halloween season, so I'm excited. We're getting a lot more horror movies. We're going to talk just a lot of just Stephen King type of films, and we're going to talk about other things before we get into that. Um, I got the homie Rashad coming in very shortly. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I really appreciate people really checking out this season. It's been doing really well. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited to see the rest of the season play out because we got a lot of exciting episodes to come with episodes 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm gonna make sure they're bangers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So like I said, if you're catching the replay or if you're watching this live, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new and also hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? That'd be much appreciated. And anybody that, is a guest that comes up here, make sure you follow them, subscribe to their channel as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so tonight, like I said, it's gonna be more Stephen King focused, but before we get into that, I want to get into my recommendations for the most part. Some these are recommendations that are, well, it's like 50-50, like two movies that are already out, and then there's a movie coming on the way, and then there's a very highly anticipated show returning tomorrow. I will have my review on that. And these are the four things I wanted to talk about real quick. The Substance, Never Let Go, Salem's Lot, 2024 to be exact. That comes out on Max on the 3rd. Really looking forward to that. It's been such a long time coming for that movie. Um, it's a shame that it has to be put out on streaming and not in theaters. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the reason why I know the reason why they wanted to put this out on streaming instead of give me one second. Yo,
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me?
yep, loud and clear.
All right, all right. Yeah, I just jumped off the last stream and onto this one, ready to talk more horror.
Yeah, I caught like the tail end and like right when Flix was talking about I think he was talking about Terrifier 3.
Yeah. We had like about a whole 10, 15 minute discussion about Terrifier 3. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was hearing like a lot of like positive hype coming out of like Fantastic Fest and stuff like that. I was so pissed. I was like, man, I wish I was there.
Right. Right. Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know what
You
I'm
you
saying?
you, you chimed in 2 years like, man, fuck them kids.
Yeah, because I literally tuned in. I was just like, nah, yeah, like, 'cause I was like, oh, you must be talking about Terrifier 3. Yeah, like, fuck them
Right.
kids, man. Like, and that's the problem. Like that, like anytime I see kids in a wet like an American horror movie or something like that, you already know it's like they're gonna kind of be safe and stuff, and they
Right.
need to change it. But I was talking about these are like my four recommendations for this week.
Okay.
Um, even though two movies are out, one movie hasn't released yet, and we're still waiting for From to come back. From comes back tomorrow. I was just saying about Salem's Lot,
Mm-hmm.
that it's a shame that they don't put this in theaters. I didn't watch the trailer or anything like that, but it's
Yeah.
a shame that they didn't put this in theaters. And maybe I know WB is gonna be kind of weird because like there's a bunch of movies that were going to be on streaming that didn't end up being on streaming, and they put it out in theaters. I
Right.
think this would have done well, but maybe they also saw that October is kind of pretty stacked, that they didn't see like them making their money back.
I was about to
Like
say,
the
yeah, they probably thought it'd be oversaturated, man. Because I don't know, like lately, we've been getting a lot of horror stuff, man, where it's almost kind of hard to keep up with everything. Like we're just getting so much horror content, which is for us fans, that's a good thing. But yeah, they probably thought there was gonna be too much competition, so they said, okay, let's just put it on Max and and see how
Yeah,
it does.
because on that weekend that it does release, there are quite a couple of movies. There's one with Mel Gibson. There's a horror movie with Mel Gibson called oh, what the fuck was that shit called? Monster Summer or something like that,
Oh,
or
I did.
something
Okay,
something.
I saw the trailer for that for I think the front room. I
Okay.
think they put that trailer right before there. Yo, what's up, Tony?
Yeah, yeah, and then they got Shudder's dropping the VHS Beyond movie. I'm hearing good things about that as well.
I don't see no
Um,
chess movies, man.
you don't fuck with them?
Hell no.
You watched them all though?
I watched the last two.
Oh, last okay. And
Yeah, I
they didn't
watched
do
the
nothing
last
for you.
two. Them shits was weak. And I said this tonight too. I said, how is it we have like 10 VHS movies, but we never got a sequel to Trick or Treat? You know what I'm saying? With the anthology. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Come
right.
on, man.
I'm curious about this one because it's mostly all like going to be like kind of sci-fi esque and whatnot, so that could be interesting. You know,
Okay. Okay.
they are hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? Like you got
Yeah.
people that really like those movies in general, or like some stories will hit more than others. I really like the posters they've been putting out lately. I think the posters go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
posters are
coming
the
out as
best
well.
part. Yeah, the posters are the
Hmm.
best part of them, but the movies suck.
Yeah, and I said we got From coming back for season 3 tomorrow. I'm so excited for that. I cannot
Nice.
wait. You need to watch From, From is absolutely fire. Like if you're looking for a really dope horror show,
Mm-hmm.
From is like the best one that you're gonna watch at this moment. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely replaced the American Horror Story for me and a lot of other horror shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's dropping. I'm excited for that. Now, the two movies that I did get to see this weekend um, was The Substance and Never Let Go. Now, Never Let Go was really fascinating with Halle
Mm-hmm.
Berry and these two kid actors.
Right.
Very strong performances from them, but it does lack with the scares. It doesn't. It's not. I
Yeah.
don't really find it necessarily scary. I really still like the premise though. The premise is still pretty dope.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it just still felt like it felt like an edgy PG-13 movie a little bit.
Facts. And plus, I don't know about you, Perk, but I don't think it helped that I watched The Substance before I watched Never Let Go. So I watched Substance the day before, which was
Mm,
batshit crazy, and then Never Let Go felt like so tame compared to that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I
yeah,
agree. It has some good ideas in there, but then for some reason I just felt like stuff wasn't really he didn't really how can I phrase it, man? He didn't
something's
see
missing.
he didn't see those ideas all the way through pretty much. Like at the end, like I feel like there was some shit that was unexplained. Then I'm like, I think I knew what he was trying to say, what he was trying to do, which like you said is fascinating. But I just thought the execution wasn't it just didn't stick for me.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see like because like I said, like there, like I like the movie. I think it's cool, but
Yeah,
there's definitely something. There's just something missing that I think if it was there, you would see more people praising it, or you know what I'm saying.
right.
I think if they would have never showed what exactly that thing is or the
Hmm.
entity is, and it's just like kind of, and it kind of plays into what one of the little boys was saying, like, "Yo, is this even real, or is this?" You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, you could kind of play with it more the psychological route, because once you show me like exactly what the scary thing is, it's just like, oh, that kind of took away
Hmm.
the
The
suspense for
mystique.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like going back to the substance though, that shit made quickly to just very high on my list. I think it's like my number two movie of the year so far. Like that's
Oof.
my favorite horror movie so far. Like
Crazy, bro. Like that. Yo, I'm pretty sure your theater had the same reaction, bro. But like that last 15 minutes where it just went off the rails. Oh,
Woo!
I'm listening to everybody around me. I'm just listening. And they're like, "Oh my god!" And I heard a few people say, "Oh shit!" And even myself, I'm not gonna include myself. I said, "What the fuck am I watching right now?" I said that out loud, bro. Like because the reaction was crazy. Yeah,
And you know what was also wild too? It's just like that movie's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Did not feel like that.
didn't feel the runtime at all.
That shit just
Yeah.
because you just had a bunch of tits and ass in your face. I was like, yo, like I'm not mad at this.
Yeah, bro. It felt too. It was like a gumbo of like it took me to the Fly '86. Okay, it took me to the
Hmm.
Fly. It took me to Carrie. I was getting some Carrie vibes there. And in that one movie I told you about, The Rejuvenator,
Hmm.
it took from that too, man. So it was like a lot of stuff in there, man. And
Yeah,
the script, I think the script was really good too, in my opinion.
the
So
body horror was
yeah,
fantastic. I was like, yo, this is some of the best like body horror since like the thing. Like
right,
this shit was
right.
crazy. I was just the whole premise of like just like even had them kind of setting you up in the beginning when they show you the egg and then giving the
Mhm.
egg the substance and they just copies, but then like you see how much more violent it is. It's almost like a xenomorph
Right.
bursting out of your back or some shit, and just like and you gotta have to kind of take care of each other. And of course, nobody ever listens to instructions, and that's why things
Mhm.
go left and shit. But
Dog, I was,
I
I, I
found
was,
that to be fascinating.
dog, I was thinking Gremlins when I was watching. I said, man, did they not watch Gremlins? You have to follow the rules, man. You follow the
Right.
rules, everything will be good. But the moment you veer off, I'm like, you
Yeah,
fucked up.
Demi Moore really fucking killed that shit, man.
Yeah, she,
She
yeah.
she did
I,
a fantastic
I
job.
think, I think too, bro, because like that's her. Like what I'm saying, she was a bombshell back in the day, like in the '90s,
Mm,
especially. Demi Moore was like she was a knockout. And then of course, as time goes on, being a woman in the entertainment industry, the older you get, the less opportunities you get, and then people start calling you old, and you're not sexy anymore.
yeah,
So
you washed up.
yeah, yeah. So other than a body horror film, like I took it as it was like a cautionary tale of like how far you're willing to go to hold on to your youth. You know what I'm
You know what?
saying?
So now that I think about it, like an idea just popped in my head. I feel like they're going to make a low budget horror movie based on this premise.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be and there's I'm not this, but they're going to make a horror movie based off this premise that I just thought about. Imagine a serial killer, right? That uses baby oil.
Oh man, Revenge of the Killer.
Blood and baby oil. Blood and baby oil. That's what's gonna be cool.
Oh man, did he done shock the world, man? Damn.
Yeah, because like I was just thinking about that, like yo, all the horror movies that are about to come out and
Yeah.
like all the spoofs, like they gotta definitely um I know there's a new scary movie. They need to do that where it's just like, have a scene where there's this guy just they're kind of also making fun of Silence of the Lambs and some shit where it puts his baby oil on his skin and some shit.
Yeah,
It's this
put
old
the baby
person.
on the skin.
Yeah. That shit's crazy, but I feel like that will be horrifying. There's some really
Right.
horrific shit you could do with baby oil. Like,
Yeah. Wait, Toy said I got Demi Moore confused with Julianne Moore. Oh, well, you got the same last name. That's about it. Shit, to
Yeah,
be
but
honest with you,
really,
Demi Moore still looks good. Like when I was watching the movie, I said, "Shit, you don't need no substance. Look, she can still get it."
yeah. Her
Yeah,
butt was kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's kind of wild, but it's all natural. It's natural. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
None of that BBL shit. You know what I'm saying? But
I
I
feel
like the substance. I would highly recommend people go check out the substance.
facts,
Um, it's definitely not
just
one of those movies that gonna get like huge promos and pushes like that. So you gotta definitely go check it out for yourself.
but just beware. Do not eat. All right, do not
Oh
eat in
yeah,
the last 20
before
minutes
and after.
before after. Okay? Yeah, that's it. Just prepare. Just prepare for some crazy ass shit in the last 15 minutes.
Bro, and it's not even like the body horror. It's like how they were eating that shit. That shit just made me like not like lose
Yeah,
my appetite immediately. I was like, bro, I
yeah.
got all these close ups of people just smacking and shit. Like,
Oh,
shit is
it's
nasty.
my Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, man, nasty, bro. He didn't even wash his
Hell yeah.
hands. Nothing.
Nah.
But yeah, tonight's subject is going to be the Stephen King era of horror. Now, Stephen King is definitely very iconic within the genre. Where whether we're talking about his books, TV show adaptations, movie adaptations, like I said, I just was talking about Salem's Lot. Um, but it seems like Stephen King has like an endless amount of like stories people could just pull from, and I think we still haven't seen a lot of his newer stuff or just a lot of his work being
Right.
adapted. Um, because originally my idea for this episode was going to be like coming of age, and then I was going to do like a Stephen King, but it's just like Stephen King's a lot of his stories are coming of age. I was like, why not just and a lot of people just grew up watching
Hmm.
or reading Stephen King adaptations and stuff like that. Starting off with like It and stuff like. I remember when I was a kid watching It for the first time. That scene where he's like they're reading this what was it, the scrapbook,
Right.
and then he pops out of the scrapbook like that. Just that whole sequence, like out of anything else in that movie, like stuck in my brain as a kid and fuck with me and shit like that. It
Right.
was crazy. Um, but what are some of your first like Stephen King movies or books or whatever that you
Um.
came across?
Well, the first Stephen King book I tried to read was, I believe, it was Christine.
Mhm.
That's the first book I tried to read. So the first Stephen King movie I actually watched was Pet Cemetery. That was
Okay.
1989. Yeah, and I remember that movie scaring the dog shit out of me, man. Like think about it, I'm 9 years old. Me and my homie went, and his mom took us, and I remember about 70% of the movie I had my eyes covered. I was a coward, man. It is funny that I'm a big horror movie fan now because I watched horror movies back in the day, but they always scared me. Like I always find myself covering my eyes. I don't know. It's just something fascinating about being scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I had my eyes covered most of that movie, especially with the sister. The sister that was messed up. So yeah, that was my first movie experience was Pet Cemetery, and then the first book was Christine. And then
Okay.
from there, I just went down a rabbit hole with the books. I tried reading Pet Cemetery. I tried reading it, but that book is like long as hell. Like that's like the
Yeah,
definition of
that
story.
shit's like a Bible.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Tony says, "Perp, do you think the Pennywise will get more stories in the future?" It depends. And I think it doesn't need to go farther than what they're doing with the whole Welcome to Derry.
Hmm.
I don't think we necessarily need like an It Chapter 3. I think it's cool that they're actually just doing like a prequel series. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because it's already kind of his hard. Like Pennywise's story is pretty much done. I think if you kept going, it just kind of waters down the brand a little bit, and just it kind of loses its mystique. I don't know. I wouldn't want more Pennywise in the future outside of the series. That's just
Right.
me. But um, yeah, I think my first Stephen King thing was like probably it probably had to be The Shining, or either The Shining or Carrie, maybe.
Mm.
I don't really remember off the top of my head. I remember Pet Cemetery scaring the fuck out of me
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
yeah.
that shit was like with the fucking creepy ass cat and Gage and all that shit. Like that shit was.
Oh man, it was and the ghost too. The ghost that I guess the ghost that was supposed to be helping him out. Like when they first showed him when when dude was laying, he's laying in bed with his wife, and then all of a sudden you hear, "Come on, Doc, we got places to go." When I
Hell
first saw
no.
him, man, I jumped out of my seat. I said, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, I was just like, nah, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, and Pet Cemetery, like that movie had the balls too. Like we talking about, kids getting messed up in movies, man. Like the fact that they went
Yeah,
there actually showing the little boy get hit by, even though they didn't actually show him get hit by the truck, but just knowing that a truck ran this little baby over, and then
yeah,
the father screaming no. I
yeah.
was like,
That's just bad
wow,
parent. That's just bad parenting. You should be watching your kid. Like, don't let
oh
them
yeah, oh
just
yeah.
run off into the street like that. And it's just,
Yeah,
you
it
know what I'm
was a
saying.
hard.
But like,
That was a hard scene because they show like the flashback pictures. Like as he's screaming, you
mhm.
see like Gage as a baby, and then and I was like, oh wow, that they went there. They actually did that.
Yeah. What's another one? Yeah. Well, he's known for having like, especially like the bullies in his movies and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. They're assholes as well. He does
Right.
a good job of just making sure like they're like the worst type of human beings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He always has some grittiness, some realness to his stories, and I think that's another thing that kind of makes people really like his storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost like R.L. Stein. R.L. Stein is kind of like the same way, but just for kids, because he's just like you just write books like every fucking month and just crank them out. They're all pretty much different. But I think with Stephen King, it's just like he just had such a wide range or just a wide like palette of just different things. You could pick up on his formula though, but like they're all kind of still different. Like it's different from The Shining.
Right.
And I also like that he kind of almost feels like all his stuff is kind of connected in a way, loosely connected. That's what I liked about Castle Rock and stuff, where it's just like yeah, like certain things like old chick from Misery. It was like a prequel to her story that was connected like to like
Mm.
was connected to something within the universe of the Stephen King thing.
Right.
It was
Right.
they were doing this whole thing where it's just they're starting to bring all this stuff together, even like where it would kind of like exist in that universe or certain things, and everything takes place in Maine.
I was about to say
You
it was
know,
most of the stuff takes place in Maine too. Yeah. Yeah.
you be forgetting that's a state because nobody really like nobody really talks
Right.
about that place or nothing like that, which is interesting.
But you know what the ironic thing about Stephen King though is that it's like his when you think of Stephen King movies, like like the ones pictured here, The Shining and Carrie and it, what I'm saying, like these are all iconic classic horror movies, right? But also these are
Mhm.
movies that Stephen King doesn't too much care for. So like even The Shining is probably like his highest rated one, right? As far as
Yeah, he hates that movie.
critic score. Yeah, and he hates it. But here's the funny thing about it, right? So he's critical about the movies because he feels like they don't really reflect his actual writing. So he took it upon himself. He said, you know what, I'm gonna write my own movie and make my own movie, and then we have Maximum Overdrive, which was fucking bonkers. You know what I'm
Yeah, that
saying?
was
Like
crazy.
if you think of the two movies that Stephen King wrote and directed, you have Maximum Overdrive and then the one with the cat people. What's that shit called? Yeah, the one with the dude was like he was like a cat and him and his mom were like screwing each other. I think it's called Sleepwalkers, right?
I think I know what you're talking about. I was drawing a blank on it, but I feel like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of funny how he disowns how bad the movies were, but then when he did make his own movies, they were like, "What the fuck, dude?"
I don't know if he even watched The Shining.
Or
I don't know, like, cause I could swear he said like I refuse to watch that shit, but I don't know. But
yeah,
yeah, he can be kind of weird at sometimes too. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
even some of his movie takes, like on Twitter, it's just like,
yeah,
But even if if Stephen King like says anything good about your movie, that's very high praise. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Either way,
right.
that's a good look. That's for
But I
sure.
mean,
Good
I
look.
don't. I mean, well, I guess as a writer, I guess yeah, I don't. I understand because when you write a story, you have it in your head, the characters and
Mm,
everything, and then when you see somebody adapt your work, I guess it's easy to criticize it because you know what the story is, and then seeing somebody else's interpretation of it, you're like, well, that's not what I wrote. So I
mm-hmm.
guess I get it.
Yeah, and talking about some of the TV specials too, like Salem's Lot. You know, I
Mm,
haven't watched the original in some time.
yeah,
Um, I might stay away from that until I watch the new one, just because I want to kind of go into the new one with fresh eyes and stuff like that. I don't even want to, like I said, I don't even want to watch the trailer or nothing like that.
right.
But I definitely want to support that. What was another TV one? What was it, Red Rose or something like that?
I believe so. Yeah, Red Rose. Yep, yep.
That was pretty
Which
good.
I
That was
never
like a
seen.
four-part joint. Um, they're still working on like the Dark Towers. They try to get that right. You know, I'm not too familiar with those books, but I know they're very popular amongst people and stuff like that.
Didn't they make a
The
movie
Dark Tower.
with Idris Elba?
Yeah, it didn't do well. Like,
Yeah.
didn't do well at all, and people just didn't really like it. I think Mike Flanagan is doing Dark Tower or some shit like that. I
Ooh,
don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head. Don't quote me.
that'll be
But
a good
yeah,
choice. That'll be a good choice if he because maybe about Mike Flanagan, he's the man right now.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Cujo is another one. Like
Mhm.
that relates to me because I don't like dogs. I really don't like dogs. You know what
No,
I'm
Perk,
saying?
don't say
So
that, man. No.
I really don't like dogs like that. I've gotten better with that, but like that's a serious issue with me that I don't like. Not
Yeah.
too many people know about me, but like I do have a fear of dogs. So like you know, so that movie kind of relates to me and just that whole you stuck in a car, you can't really do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got this big ass dog foaming from the mouth and shit like that. Because if it wasn't foaming from the mouth like that, like I'm pretty sure you could probably fuck that dog up. You could try at least, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I don't know. Say Saint Bernards are pretty big dogs, man. I don't know.
yeah. But you
Yeah.
just gotta get him in a headlock or some shit like that.
Something. Yeah. Well, I didn't even realize that a couple of the scenes, there was a guy in a dog suit. So I saw the on set pictures. I said, what the hell?
Yeah, it's just like that's another thing. It's just like, yo, make dogs scary again, man.
Right.
Cause too many people got dogs. I've noticed that, like,
Mhm.
just being out, it's just like, bro, why does everybody have a dog? This would be a great time to just like make a horror movie about dogs that like
Dogs. Yeah.
completely makes you not trust your animal and stuff like that. Like we need that type of shit, but I guess that'd be a little bit harder to sell. I don't know to people nowadays because everybody just loves
I was about to say
animals and shit.
there's too many dog lovers out there. If they did try to make a movie about a killer dog, you have what's that organization that animal rights organization or whatever, and all kinds of dog lovers like talking shit. So I don't think that'll fly now. Yeah,
Like
I'm serious. Dogs are valued more than humans now. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody shoots me right now in the street, nobody give a shit. But
yeah.
somebody hits a dog, oh man, everybody goes crazy.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy too. Like we kind of going off topic, but I've always thought about that. It's crazy. Like we were talking about people eating cats and dogs and stuff, right? But nobody really bats an eye like when we eat cows or
Right,
certain things
right.
because it's so normalized. It's just like you don't got the same compassion
Uh,
for a cow than a dog or some shit. So it's just like
they're eating the dogs. They're eating cats. They're eating your pets.
Now, I would watch a horror movie about that, like a serial killer that, like, what he does, like, as he kills, but he also eats like any type of animals, like dogs,
Yeah.
cats, and shit. Like that'd be crazy. Squirrels.
Mm. Well, shit. Well. Can we? We can't. No, I don't want to spoil. Never let go. But yeah, there was a scene in there that had to do with a dog where I was like, no, don't do it.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. She was like, yeah, we gotta eat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Which I like that part. Like I understood both sides because like yes, we have to survive, But like, no, this is my friend. This is my pet. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Even the dog's like, you really gonna
Yeah, the dog's looking like, man, like, okay, do what you gotta do, but I ain't did shit to you.
But I always thought
Yeah.
that would be cool, man. If they just made like a horror movie that surrounded dogs, and just like one day with just like all the dogs kind of turned on their humans and stuff like that, and
Well, there
you
was a
know,
movie. That was
yeah,
a movie that came out in the '70s called Dogs. That was kind of like that. It was like late '70s.
or
Yeah, this is during the Jaws exploitation era, where like they were all these movies came out about these killer animals. Say so it started with
mm,
Jaws, and then you had orca, piranha, alligator, grizzly, and then they had one called Dogs, where it was like a
hmm.
bunch of dogs got together. They just like terrorizing humans.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just yeah. I always thought that'd be fascinating. Another Stephen King kind of thing that comes to mind is Carrie. It's
Hmm.
talking about iconic movies and stuff like. I've rewatched Carrie quite a few times in the last few years,
Yeah,
and I really enjoy how that movie kind of plays out. How it's just kind of like a slow burn at the beginning, and just but it's still kind of like the vibes that it gives off is just it's very creepy still. Like
hmm,
say just with Carrie's character in general, even before she goes crazy,
right.
she just has that like creepy ass look to her.
She did, but
Um,
you felt really bad for her too, man. Like from her
yeah,
mom and everybody at school bullying her. Like her mom was like super religious, but she was the devil. Like everything Carrie did, boy, she got on her case about it, and you're like, damn, leave her alone.
hmm,
So when she does lose it, it's a moment of you're like, yeah, finally she's about to get her revenge. But then when she had that crazy look in her eye, you're like, oh, this ain't gonna end well. Like I'm a little
yeah. Well,
terrified right now.
as soon as that pig's blood hit her, bro, it was a
Mhm.
wrap for
It
everybody.
was
It's like, all right,
rap.
I'm done with
Yeah.
all y'all.
Hey, well,
I didn't even hate the remake neither. Like the 2013 one, I didn't found that to be too bad.
I never
I think it
watched
was
it.
just yeah. I think it's just why you don't hear a lot of people talk about it. It's just because it's literally like a shot for almost like a shot for shot like remake and stuff.
Oh,
But
it's a
it's still
remake.
like it's still is a decent remake. It just doesn't do anything. I don't think anything different than the original to kind of separate it. So
So
the,
it was- so
the
that so they only had like one sequel to Carrie, right? Like 'cause I know they did a movie called Carrie 2: The Rage or something like that back in the
yeah,
late '90s.
that was the only one. And I don't
Yeah.
even hate that movie, but like I haven't rewatched that movie in a long time, but I just don't
Mhm.
remember like hating it. I'm pretty sure it's frowned upon amongst a lot of people. Like,
Yeah, well, I was working at Blockbuster at the time, and yeah, that movie didn't get a lot of love. Yeah, I was working at Blockbuster, and that movie stayed on the shelf. Nobody nobody ever rented it.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's another?
What do you think about what about Christine?
Yeah, Christine's tough. I think you could definitely remake that and take the smart because like with smart cars being
Oh,
very
like the
popular.
Teslas. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you could do it. You could probably Blumhouse is gonna do that shit. God damn it, bro. I already know they're gonna call that car or some shit like that or
Yeah.
scary car or some shit. But like, there's a lot of interesting ideas with smart cars you could do. Um, it just depends on who's gonna write it and who's gonna But I just
Mhm.
see Blumhouse. I already see Blumhouse wanting to do something generic like that and just fuck it up. But I think the idea of having a smart car and bringing Christine into modern day like that would be interesting. There's some interesting ideas.
Right.
Um, you can have fun with that. You can make it kind of pretty campy and stuff like that.
You
You
know
don't
what's
have to take it
interesting?
too serious.
You know what's interesting about Christina? John Carpenter directed that, right? And he told a story about how when he first submitted the movie, how the studio thought it wasn't violent enough, right? So like
Mm,
it was because at first it was going to get a PG rating, and they was like, no, this is supposed to be a Stephen King horror movie, it's supposed to be R. So I'm like, they're telling John Carpenter out of all people that his movie's not violent enough. So yeah, so he had to add a kill in there. He had to add a bloody kill in there to get an R rating because they was going to give it a PG rating.
Yeah, it seems like things kind of the roles kind of reverse. Where it's like if we got too much things in it, they kind of like yo scale that back a little bit. It's just like nah, like
Right.
let people, and that's what I like about Damien with Terrifier and Terrifier 3 and whatnot. He just completely gets full creative control and stuff over what he wants to put out and whatnot. And Terrifier 4 is in the works.
I read that.
So
Yeah, hell yeah. I
yeah,
just hope he don't sell out. And I'm pretty sure if Terrifier 3 makes a lot of money, you already know they're gonna come lining up like, hey man, come on, we like fuck with us. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
New Line, Universal, whatever. And it's like, no, do not sell out, bro, because you got a good thing going. You have a fan
yeah,
base. If you go to the studio, they're gonna get studio interference. They're gonna tell you what to do, what
yeah.
you can't do.
It, it,
It's gonna totally fuck up the brand.
the only time he should go to a studio is if they want him to do something, or if like he wants to do a project with them. Have nothing to like. Don't bring the Terrifier over to any
Right.
different. Like let that just be your baby. But switch it back over to Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
Um, another one. Like I was like sometimes I go to Barnes and Nobles and I was just like, bro, Stephen King writes so many different novels, and it's just like nothing. Like there's a lot of adaptations that haven't happened yet. Like was it Gerald's Game
Who?
that came out? It was it was Gerald's Game that came out on Netflix not too long ago. Where it's like that's another Stephen King adaptation. That was a really good one.
Never heard of that
Um,
one.
it's where I'm trying to it's been a while since I watched it, but essentially like I think it's her husband that's dead or something like that. It's like a dead body that
Hmm.
she's like stuck to or
Oh
something like
wow.
that. And there's a bunch of like weird stuff starts to happen. Or I think she's tied up to the bed or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget exactly how exactly the events kind of played out. Because like I said, I only watched the movie once, but I found it to be really really interesting. And then like you had In the Tall Grass. A lot of people didn't like that. I didn't hate it. I like the premise where you just got this haunted area where it's just all this tall grass shit. So it's kind of creepy in that sense. It's almost like
Right.
looks like a fucking cornfield and shit like that. Um,
Huh.
what's another one? That's kind of weird. It's a weird like The Outsider. That was like an HBO limited series and whatnot. That was pretty cool.
Never seen that one.
Um, was it the Thinner or something like that? Isn't that
Thinner. Yes,
Stephen King?
I do remember Thinner. Yeah, I do remember that one. That
That's
was a
Stephen.
weird one. Yeah, that was Stephen
That's
King.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like whatever, like this whole eating thing, whatever. That'd be
Thinner.
interesting
Yeah.
to
Thinner was weird, bro. You ever see that? You ever see Thinner?
I've seen parts of it, but I like I always it was just like growing up, you'd always see that kind of popping up on AMC or something like that during Horror Fest
Well,
or
it
like
was weird because it's supposed to play like a horror movie, but like because it's about a fat dude that becomes thinner with with a curse. But it starts out you could obviously see it's a fat suit. It looks like almost like the clumps but white. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's just so laughably bad looking. I'm like, this is supposed to be a horror movie. It looks like a comedy, And then you see him gradually like keep losing weight and keep getting thinner. Then when he does get really thin, the makeup they did like the makeup job to him to make his face look thinner than what it was. You can
Mm-hmm,
clearly see like though that we know that we see that's like makeup to make his face look thinner. Like the effects were
mm-hmm.
basically. I'm just saying the effects were so bad. Even for the '90s, I'm like, ugh, this ain't too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's another one? Dang, he's got so many.
Oh, so you just naming off just Stephen King, just movies and shows, period.
Yeah, just anything Stephen King
Just anything
related.
Stephen King. Silver Bullet.
Yeah, it's a werewolf, like the
Yep.
werewolf film. Yeah.
Yep.
That's another one. I feel like it's just like one of those movies I feel like I seen, but I probably didn't watch the whole movie.
Silver Bullet. Oh no, watch that. That's one of my favorite werewolf joints, man.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna definitely have to
I
check that
love
out.
Silver Bullet. Yeah, because that was based off of a short story that he did called "Cycle of the Werewolf."
Mm-hmm.
It was a short story, and yeah, it's got Corey Haim there, Gary Busey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, of course, it's based in Maine, and only thing about it is, okay, it was made in '84, so everything leading up to when you actually see the werewolf is really good. But when you see the werewolf, you're probably gonna laugh at it because the design is really, it's like, oh god, that's the best they can do.
Right.
But everything up until that was very effective because I guess because the suit looked so bad, you didn't see the wolf that much. So you would see its arm, you would see the back of it, you would
Yeah,
see
they
like
don't want to show you the whole thing.
right, you would see parts of the wolf, but that wolf was like a slasher. That wolf was fucking people up. Like there was even a scene where he beat a guy to death with a baseball bat. Yeah, so
That sounds crazy.
I highly recommend Silver Bullet.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that like, when I think about when I was younger, like I was like, yo, I remember like seeing bits and pieces of this movie. I never watched the full thing, and just there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of movies like that
Right.
that I want to kind of go revisit and whatnot.
Well, that was me in
Uh,
Salem's Lot. I've never actually sat through Salem's Lot. I just always seen like little bits and pieces of it, but I never actually sat through the whole thing.
yeah, Salem's Lot is crazy, especially
Yeah,
that window scene.
yeah. That's the one part I saw.
I don't know why I always thought that window scene was like Creep Show, or maybe Creep Show fucking was inspired
Mhm.
by that, vice versa.
Oh, speaking of which, Creep Show. That's Stephen King.
Is it? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Creep Show.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
That's what I said. Like Stephen King, he got his name on everything, bro. He don't gotta work. He don't gotta write another
Ain't
goddamn
that
book
do
ever
shit.
again, bro. He just residual checks coming in out the
What?
woozah. Like, you know what I'm saying? The one Stephen King movie that does not get talked about enough,
Hmm.
should be talked about more, is Doctor Sleep.
Which I still got to
Speaking,
watch. I still got to watch that.
yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but like, you know what I'm saying? In that movie, they say the fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good one. If you go find the director's cut, I think it's the director's cut's on Max. That's a good one, man. Like
Yeah.
them actually diving into what The Shining is and stuff like that, and specific characters like the main villain in that, really
Hmm.
fucking dope.
Yeah, because Q,
Really
yeah,
fucking.
Q, that was one of Q's favorite movies of that of the year it came out. That made like his top 10 list, and he was trying to sell me on that too. He was like, "Bro, you gotta watch Doctor Sleep, bro." He's like, "That shit is tight." And for some reason, I
Yeah,
never got around to it.
yeah. It just seems like anytime Stephen King set himself up really well, because it's like people are just going through his catalog and be like, all right, what can we adapt, or what can we, what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
he's got a huge list, an endless list of just different ideas and stuff. That's why I say I don't. To go back to what Tony was saying, I don't really want them to kind of do another It movie unless if it's going to be like a complete reboot or something like that, and they got a completely different
Right.
idea, you know. But I feel like if they were to even reboot, like it would kind of fall short, because I feel like Art the Clown has set the bar for just clowns in
Yeah.
general. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? So I wouldn't really want to see that. I would want to see, the lesser knowns, or the things that kind of get, like you said, like a Silver Bullet.
Hmm.
Maybe they could bring that back. Thinner, I think that could work, especially for today's climate, where a lot of people, like with Ozempic and all that shit, like,
Right. Oh yeah. Nah. Yeah. Good idea. Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying, you could definitely bring that back.
Well, they tried to
And
bring back Pet Cemetery, and that Pet Cemetery remake was like atrocious, man.
it's Children of the Corn, Stephen King.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yep.
Right. Hey, 'cause
Yep.
that's why I just gotta be thinking about this shit. Because I was like, bro, he's got so many. That's another thing that needs to. I feel so bad for Children of the Corn, because there hasn't been a good one since the first one,
That's the first one.
and they
Yeah.
just been just throwing out shit. Like they came out with the one that in 2023. That
Hmm.
was that they actually got done in 2020, and they were just holding on to it for like 3 fucking years. I was like,
Right.
that was shit was atrocious. Like, yeah, y'all could have just held that shit in the vault. To be honest, you didn't have to put that out.
Oh
That
yeah.
shit's laughable. Them sequels are just laughable. But like, I think in the right hands, if they were to make like a series or another movie,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they could really make a dope Children of the Corn because like that's just still a creepy ass premise, creepy ass kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
well, shit. I remember the first one was so popular when they announced the sequel. Like that was a big deal. You know what I'm saying? I think they waited like 5 years to do the sequel, and we were all like, "Oh man, we're gonna get Children of the Corn too!" And we were so excited. And Perp, I can't even tell you nothing about that movie. Like I watched with a group of friends, man, and I can't tell you one single thing that happened in that movie, man. That's how bad it was. Yeah, it was dead upon arrival, man. It should have never happened.
Village of the Damned, that's not Stephen King, right?
I
That's
don't
probably
think
not
it
Stephen
is.
King. 'Cause,
I
yeah,
don't, I
because
don't
that
think
was
it is.
yeah. So what's another one? Trying to think on top of my head.
Misery.
Yeah, Misery. Misery is dope.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's another one that could work as a remake as well. I don't think it will. They'll be able to top like Kathy Bates, maybe. Because I
Right.
think there's some really dope female actresses out there that could possibly, even like a Toni Collette, I think could fill those shoes. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I think that would work in today's kind of thing with like fanboys or fangirls and stuff like that, over obsessed
Right.
fans. I think they could do something crazy. Now you'd have to kind of switch it up. You don't have to take a sledgehammer to a dude's ankles and shit like that. You'd have to do something a little bit more graphic or something like that. Or I would even say fuck it, like, instead of like pinning somebody to the bed and doing that, like if they're
Mhm.
trying to escape, you take the sledgehammer as they're running and just like hit them with the sledgehammer and just like
Right.
start wailing at their legs or some shit. Something brutal, like that'd be crazy.
Yeah, Misery was one of those movies where I think I read that book too because I was in middle school at the time. I was like going through my Stephen King phase. I was reading a bunch of Stephen King books in middle school, and but yeah, Misery was one of those movies where it wasn't so much scary, but I remember being scared for him because
Hmm.
because every like he's in like most of the movie takes place in a small little room, and at any moment she could walk in and do some crazy shit to him. So that
Yeah,
movie
him
just
trying
kept
to
you on
escape.
edge the whole time. Yeah, and him trying to escape, and then like she would like leave out to go to the store, and he would try to like get up out of his bed. He like, no, bro, just
And,
lay there, man. Because if she comes back, she's gonna fuck you up.
he's like in the middle of nowhere, and it's winter time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was wintertime. Yep,
So
yep,
it's like even if you were to escape, you still have to, what I'm saying,
yeah,
traverse through the woods, and she probably knows the area better than you.
right.
What I'm saying? That's another thing. Like that's the craziest scenario to kind of be in, being trapped in the middle of nowhere trying to escape, but then when you escape, where the fuck do you go?
Yeah, where you
You
go?
know,
Yeah,
if
especially
if
with.
the killer don't find you, then the elements, what I'm saying, is gonna kill you.
Mhm. I mean,
So it's like a
I'll take my chance with the elements, man. That bitch right there, boy. She was there. She was something else. Wait, and then she put the pressure on him to rewrite. Because remember, he had a. I guess she wrote it. She read his draft of the book he was writing, and she was like, "No, you gotta write it this way," So now he has a pressure writing this story to her liking, and it's like, how the fuck am I gonna how am I gonna get out of this,
yeah.
man?
They
Yeah,
could definitely do. They could definitely do. That could definitely be remade and stuff like
hmm
that.
yeah, for sure.
Just because it's like, because like that, like fandom is at an all time high now and stuff like that, especially like social media and stuff like that. Like they can
Right,
utilize that, be like, I saw the dirty tweets you made and all this, and just I didn't really like that, or just you could kind of channel what Kathy Bates did, but also just make your own take at the
right.
same time with it. So there's some interesting things you could do with that.
What'd you think?
Um,
What'd you think about Maximum Overdrive, the first movie that he wrote and directed?
that's what the ones with the trucks, right?
Yeah,
Man, I haven't seen that since I was younger, but like I would have to revisit. That's another one I'd have to revisit because like I remember the Green Goblin
hmm
looking truck and stuff. That's what sticks out the most to me from that movie.
right.
Um, but yeah, that's fascinating too. Just like trucks that just come to life and just start
Yeah,
killing
well,
people.
it was like this. It was like this outer space entity that came down, and there was trying. I guess that they wanted world domination, so they came down and they just possessed all these machines. You know what I'm saying? So all the trucks and like everything from vending machines to trucks, you know, lawnmowers, you name it. They would possess them, and then they would kill people because they wanted to take over the world.
Or
That's
Josh,
basically the plot.
Josh the Q with the $10 super chat. I appreciate it. What up,
You, what
though?
up?
Horror fan.
Yes, sir.
Q, let me know what is your favorite Stephen King book, movie, or TV show, and what's your least favorite book, TV, movie, or show, or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Let me know.
Knowing Q, I predict Doctor Sleep's probably his favorite.
I should sleep so far.
He dug Doctor Sleep. As far as show, I can't answer that one.
Yeah, another show. I had quite a few. So Langaniers, whatever the fuck is that? Stephen King?
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Those fucking you never seen that movie with the it's terrible CGI, like they're like these fucking Pac-Man looking things that got like sharp razor teeth and stuff. It's so fucking silly.
Nah.
Is Dead Zone Stephen King?
Yes, Dead Zone. Yep, I read that book too. I read the book and I saw the movie, and I remember that was one of them situations where the book was definitely superior to the movie. I remember really liking the book, and the movie I thought got it wrong.
Okay, Shining.
Yeah.
Shining is like I feel like Shining is gonna be everybody like if when it comes to Stephen King, that's normally everybody's pick.
Okay, I thought it was Doctor Sleep. I was wrong, man.
Yeah, I forgot it was TV first
Yeah,
before anything. Like it was a TV special.
yeah. Shout out to Tim Curry, man.
They don't do TV specials no more, I guess, because it's like nobody really,
Nobody watches
you
TV.
yeah, like syndication and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You'll have TV specials, but they'll like be on streamers and stuff like that. Doesn't really hit the same, but
Yeah, especially that first part. Yeah, I think they broke up into 2 or 3 parts. But I remember that first part being real scary. But then I remember the second part being silly when they brought him in as a spider.
yeah,
The bad spider effect.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like, if they bring back it, they have to change that because I feel like that kind of hurts both the remakes. Like
Yeah,
where in the remake it's just like all you have to do kind of like is insult him, and
right.
it's pretty much dead. I would
Yeah.
rather just be like, let's make a darker ending and just nobody lives. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They think they
Right.
got it, but we need more of that. Less of the playing it safe, happy endings, and the kumbayas. Like, nah,
Hmm.
we need to switch it up a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Because Stephen King, he's known for his darker endings, right? Because not many of his stories have happy endings. If you
Uh,
think about it, because even thinking back to Pet Cemetery, when you thought it was over when they killed Demon's Gage, when he stuck him with that shit, he was like, "No fair," and he falls over. That's what the movie's supposed to end. And then the wife comes back, and once again,
uh.
I had my eyes covered because when she walked in, you see that pus and shit coming out of her cheek, and
Yeah, that was
she's kissing
nasty.
the husband. I was like, ugh,
Yeah, that was nasty. I don't know
yeah.
how they messed up on that Pet Cemetery remake, the
Wow.
Bloodline shit.
Yeah, that was atrocious. Yeah. Well, I didn't.
That
Well,
was bad.
I didn't see the second one. 'Cause I know they did a sequel, right? Like Paramount Plus or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah. But
yeah, it was Paramount.
that remake was terrible. I put Pet Cemetery 2 with Little John Connor. I put Pet Cemetery 2 over that one.
The two wasn't that bad though. Two wasn't that bad.
Nah,
It
nah, it
wasn't
wasn't.
one. It wasn't
Right.
one, but and and with a premise like that with Pet Cemetery, it's just like, bro, all you have to do really is get that tone right. Make
Mm-hmm.
that creepy ass. You got the creepy ass kid, creepy ass cat. You
The
know what I'm
ghost.
saying? Ghosts and all that stuff.
What was that ghost name? The good conscious ghost. He looked creepy, but he
Yeah.
was a good guy. What was his name? Shit, I can't remember.
Yeah, see, Q knows what I'm talking about, the Langoliers and stuff like that. That shit was corny as hell, but like I was like, I remember really liking that as a kid and shit. Like just type in Langoliers. You'll probably recognize it. Just because that was like one of those sci-fi movies that always like played and stuff like that.
Let me see it. I never even heard of that. Let's see.
But yeah, he's got so many different stories out there. Like I said, like when I went to Barnes and Nobles, I seen all these other Stephen King movies that, or books that I'd never heard of, or just because they haven't been adapted yet, I haven't heard of
Mhm.
them and whatnot. So it's just like he's got just a huge list to just pull from if they want to adapt this into a movie or adapt this into a TV show. I
Yeah.
would want to see him do like animated stuff. Like I want more animated horror. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be like
Mm.
stop motion or just straight up animated stuff. Like I
Yeah.
know Adult Swim is coming out with yeah, Izumaki. That's like a Japanese kind of anime kind of horror thing. It's them shits are trippy as hell. I'll send you the trailer for it, but like
Right.
that's the type of horror I really fuck with when it comes to like animation wise and stuff like that. Like they're known for doing that type of style, and I'm excited to see that. But you know, I would like to see them adapt some of these Stephen King stories into animation or him just make not him specifically, but I don't know. You know, I just maybe Stephen King. There's not a book or anything that would work in animation besides like probably it or something like that. But
Yeah, or like say Salem's Lot would probably work as animation
yeah,
or
because vampires and stuff like that,
yeah, yeah.
you can do
Oh,
some Scooby Doo shit.
speaking of bad animation, I just pulled up the Langoliers and oh my god, this is actually a thing.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, these look like some bad rip off Audrey twos, man.
yeah,
What in the
man.
hell? Where the hell was that when this came out?
Bro, you gotta try to find that book. Like I don't know if it's streaming on Tubi or something like that.
Oh
Usually Tubi come clutch with those type of movies and stuff like the ones that are
yeah,
kind of hard to find and
yeah. I
whatnot.
gotta find that one, man. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know where I
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much what I got for the Stephen King stuff. But did you see the trailer for Mr. Crockett?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah,
That
yeah, I want to check that out.
that
Yeah.
I was like when I was watching, I was like, bro, this is like what I expected. I saw the TV glow to be and shit like that. And it was just like.
Hmm.
And that looks exciting. I'm excited for that.
That's gonna be on Hulu, right?
Yeah, it's coming out
Yeah.
Hulu on the 11th, the same weekend as Terrifier 3. There's
Oh
so
wow.
much horror movies coming out in those first 2 weeks. You
Oh,
know what I'm
just
saying?
lately we just been getting a lot of horror, man. Like we just been getting flooded with it. I'm loving it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
you did leave off one. Remember The Stand? That was another
ooh,
mini series. Yeah.
yeah, Stan.
Yep. The
That was
Stand.
that was a long ass one too. I think they remade that into a series on Paramount Plus. I didn't watch it though.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
Which I never watched, but I just remember the book. I think the book came out first, and then they did the movie. But, 'cause
okay.
I know I think Gary Sinise was in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. There's so many horror movies just yet to still come. I'm looking forward to watching Azrael.
Hmm.
That comes. I'm seeing an early screener. They got an early screener on at AMC on the 23rd, so I'm excited to see that. I was
Right.
originally going to do like a triple feature next week because you had like the Wild Robot and Megalopolis. I was going to do like a triple feature with those three movies, but I was just like, okay, I get to go see it a little bit earlier. That works for me even more, even better.
I was about to say,
Um,
I got an early screening for the Wild Robots on Monday. I'm going to check that out.
oh,
Yeah.
lucky. That's dope. That's dope.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
looking for. I, I'm surprised that they probably haven't just updated yet, but like I don't know if they're gonna have any scream unseen like horror movie joints for next month. I
Hmm.
don't see anything on the schedule. It seems like they only put the unseen things, whatever, depending on the month and stuff like this. You kind of probably have to wait till October to to see if they're
Right.
gonna have any mystery movies, but because we haven't had one. Like it's been mainly just like comedies and dramas. We haven't gotten no mystery horror movies in a long time since like early this year and stuff like that.
Shit,
So it's
I
like,
don't even think they make comedies anymore, man. See, it seems like everything I've been watching lately has been horror, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't think any comedies have came out lately. At least none that I know of.
yeah, that off the top of my head. They got that Saturday Night Live movie. You know, what I'm saying, it looks
Oh yeah,
interesting, but
yeah,
you know, I don't want to go too crazy off
right,
the horror stuff, but yeah,
right.
there's a bunch of a bunch of stuff to look forward to. You know, as we get
What
into
about Apartment
October.
7A? You gonna check that out
Yeah, that comes out next week.
next week? Yeah.
I think I've seen one review. I didn't watch the whole video. I just watched like a little snippet of it, and
Mm,
or no, I just saw somebody post something on Twitter, and I kind of skimmed it. I was like, but I still want to kind of go into my own with my
right.
own my own thoughts and whatnot. It looks exciting. The thing about Rosemary's Baby is just like it's still attached to like Roman Polanski and just it's just
Hmm.
weird. It's just a weird
Yeah.
thing. And just whenever I see like documentaries and they bring that up, they don't ever like they almost like praise this guy and they don't really like shit on him or just I don't know.
Hmm.
Like it's a good movie, but it's at the same time like the dude that made it, he's a fucking scumbag. Like
Kind of like Jeepers Creepers, where you want to
yeah,
go back watch Jeepers Creepers, but just knowing the history of the guy that made it is like it's hard to watch it.
yeah, and it's just that shit's super unfortunate, but it is what it is. People are weird, bro.
Yeah,
A lot of ditties in the world. Hide your baby oil. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm telling you, they're going to make a horror movie about a killer that uses like baby oil or some shit, like a mixed blood with baby oil or some
Can't
shit.
stop, won't stop.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this episode. Like I said, if you're caught up with From comes back tomorrow night. I'm so looking forward to. Yo, you gotta just go watch. You got Prime, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, go check it. Just go watch From. And you're just gonna be locked in, bro. You'll be caught
No
up by
doubt,
it. You'll be caught up by it before episode 2 come out and shit like that.
no doubt.
But it's like 2 seasons. But you got anything going on or coming out soon?
Yeah. Well, I just dropped reviews for both movies, The Substance and Never Let Go. I just dropped those, and like I said, I'm going to see The Wild Robot on Monday, and I believe the embargo has been lifted already, so I'll probably be able to drop that review on Tuesday. And tomorrow I'm dropping that. Finally, I'm dropping that Five Heartbeats versus Temptations video.
I
Yeah,
want
I'm
to check
finally
that out.
dropping that tomorrow by probably like tomorrow evening. With some people eating Sunday dinner and shit, they can just watch my little video on that. And that's about it that I got coming up for right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I got the From season 3 episode 1 review. Be on the lookout for that. It's gonna take me some time to put it together and whatnot. Uh, but other than that, like I said, I got the Azrael movie review coming on Monday nights,
Hmm.
and then for the rest of the month, I got I got like at least 4 or 5 movies I gotta get through. You know what I'm saying? And if all the stars align, Joker 2 will be like the last movie of the month for me.
Mm.
Because they got the early screening for that as well on the
Yeah.
30th. So it's like that'll be my 100th movie. Thank God. So
Woo.
we're getting
Man,
close to that. I'm on 95 right now. So
golly. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
way off,
so
bro. I think I'm only at like 59, 60, I think
that's not
maybe.
that's not bad. That's not
Yeah.
bad. It's not
Yeah.
bad at all.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
that's not perp numbers, man, but I'm trying to get
There's
there.
people that watch way more shit than me too. It's just like they got like festival. I want to go to one of these festivals, man. Because it's like
Facts.
I'm so jealous that people got to go see fucking Terrifier 3 like before
I
me. Man, I
know,
was just like,
man.
damn,
Damn.
man. But it's good that it's getting a lot of good word of mouth. But next
Mhm.
week, episode 6, we're gonna be talking about the Black culture and horror.
Oh,
I
okay.
might change the title. I don't know. I might keep it. We'll see. But essentially, that's what we're gonna be talking about next week.
Oh
But
yeah, really looking forward to that one. That's gonna be dope. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I appreciate anybody pulling up in the live chat. Shouts to Q with the super chat. If you check out the replay, make sure you hit that like button before you sign off or you click away from the video. I will see y'all at the same time next week. Peace.
Peace.